Hi and welcome back to my studio. Today I would like to test the new Sennelier pastel pencils. They are woodless pastel pencils, so only pigment leads, and I have bought the set of 48 half pastel pencils. They have 48 colors and these are really beautiful colors. You can use in your animal portraits, human portraits, landscapes. They are harder and let's see how that works. Let's test them out, how they work in animal portraits. I will draw a horse eye and a clump of fur. Let's start. Before we start, I have a free beginner's guide below in the description. Click the link to download it. It's free and it includes a lot of tips for your start drawing with pastels. I have bought a set of 48 half pastel pencils of Sennelier. These are the new woodless pastel pencils. These are half length and I would like to test them. I'm really curious about them. So they have beautiful colors. That's really amazing. And I'm really curious how they work. So this is the whole set of 48 but half pastel pencils, and they come so in a beautiful box. Here they have beautiful turquoise colors, dark greens that are also great if you would like to use dark greens for grass, leaves and so on. A beautiful leaf green. I like this mint color, this turquoise color. We don't have that in the set of the pits, or also brilliant light blues that we can use for skies or highlight in eyes. I really like that. And really beautiful brown tones, other brown tones than we have in the set of the pits. So a nice violet brown, red brown here. Great brown tones, also ochres, brilliant ochre tones. So I like these two, and a nice so orange ochre, burnt ochre. I like this flesh color. It's a little bit more going into orange flesh color than the beige red in the pit. Also this light color, cream color is great. I also like these violet colors here. We don't have them in the sets of the pits, so they are other purple colors, a very dark purple here. And when you then put that away, there is another foam on top to protect, and then you have here the other beautiful colors in the box. So I place them here side by side, then you can see all. Also here, a nice cream tone, beautiful, brilliant orange tones that we can use for flowers, different red tones. I'm missing red tones in the sets of the pits. And here we have a nice, so red, cherry red, really great. Some pinks, a very light pink. I like that because we also don't have the possibility for light pinks in the sets of the pits. This is a beautiful light blue too, and another very light blue, and some different other hues. So I'm curious how they work. They look really hard. What is great for details? So let's test it out. So let's test first how we can sharpen them. I'm curious about that, so let's take one of these light pencils. So they are only pastel pigment. These are the half length. You can also buy them in full length. And they have here a paper around that you can hold them, and it's pure pigment. So they will last a long time, I assume, because you don't remove wood. You know, normally I sharpen my pastel pencils in that way that, for example, when I take a pit pastel pencil, I sharpen them most times in that way that I place them in the sharpener and sharpen a little bit away from the wood, and then only during the drawing process
a little bit of the front part of the lid to sharpen them, right? So the front part of the lid. And let's test how this works with the Sennelier. They come so a little bit blunt. When you have a look here, they are not so sharp as I want to have them for details. So let's try how sharpening works with these double metallic sharpeners I use. So I put them here in and just sharpen the tip a little bit, and this works really well. You have to be careful that you don't sharpen away a lot of pigment, because you know this is all pure pigment. Then you can create really a sharp point, and it looks really good for details. So this is easy. Let's test it with another pencil. Sharpen just the first front tip. I don't want to remove too much pigment here. Yes, this is working really well. So this is working with my sharpening method. Let's also test out the craft knife. So let's take another one here. Let's take this gray one. This is also a nice color, so a greenish gray. You can also use just a craft knife and sharpen the front part, as you also can do with the pastel pencils. You could maybe use a little bit more force, more pressure. Yes, it takes a bit of time, but because they are really hard, I like that they are so hard, so they don't break so easy than softer pastel pencils are doing. And then you can also make them sharp here with the knife. Turn the pencil and cut away a bit of the pigment with the knife until you have a great sharp tip. Yes, this is also working really well. And you could then also use a sandpaper. So take a bit of sandpaper, so normal sandpaper you can buy in a hardware store, and you can also then sharpen them with the sandpaper. It's a bit faster than with the craft knife and works also really well and fast to have a sharp point here. So sandpaper is a nice tip for sharpening them. So they are a little bit blunt at the beginning, but then just turn them around and sharpen them. You get a bit loose pastel powder here, you remove it, but you do that all the time when you're sharpening your pencils. So this is really working well with the sandpaper, I must say. And you have a sharp point here. That's great. This is working well, so sharpening is working well. Maybe later, when they are more blunt, then you have to just use these sharpeners. And let's test it out how this works when you put them in here. It's also working to remove a bit of the front part, of the lid here, and you remove pigment all the time, but it works really well. So I'm positively surprised about the sharpening process. They are really hard. And now let's draw with them. I show you how I have drawn a horse eye and a clump of fur. I show you here how I have drawn this horse eye with the Sennelier pastel pencils in a time-lapse version. The full version is inside of Animal Art Club, available for my members. They can see what I have told while I'm testing and what was my real-time experience. I must say I really love them. So they are great. They are really hard, harder than the pits. And here plotting in the base layers with black and white worked really well. Also drawing fine thin outlines with that hard black worked really well. The black color was as black as the pit. It covers the paper. I'm working on pastel matte paper here. I had really a great experience plotting in the base layers. The colors covered the base layer, the paper color really well. Sometimes it feels a little bit scratchy, but then when I add a little bit more pressure, it really worked well. What I have missed are brown tones like burnt sienna and darker browns like walnut brown and so on. So I've mixed my own brown tones here on the paper directly with reds, oranges and another brown and they had and black. This was a bit sad, so I miss brown tones, but they have beautiful orange tones and other nice ochre tones. Here I have added orange on top to this layering and glazing technique with a little pressure really works well to add details and fine little lines. I also like the blue tones. You have much more blue tones in this set than in the pits, and you can add in highlights light blue tones, what I also liked, and they have really additional colors we can bring into this eye. But if you want to create dark browns for darkening the edges, I had to use black and mix it with brown. Everything is possible because you can mix all colors directly on the paper. Fine thin lines are working really well. I was impressed about how great and amazing this works with the hard Sennelier pencils to draw details with here fine details with the sharp pencil. They are so hard and I really enjoyed that for my detailed artwork. So if you are drawing realistic animal portraits with details, this works really well to refine your portrait. I would not use them for base layers alone and for the animal portrait alone because they are or sometimes also feel a bit scratchy and you have not so much pastel pigment on the paper. They are not so brilliant, but they have beautiful neutral tones, and for this horse eye this works really well. I have used a bit blue and mixed it with black because they also don't have a dark indigo blue, but as you see here, you can easily mix two layers together and blend them and have a nice dark blue. So darkening down shadows. I had to do this often, so go over with black again and darken down darks. But it worked, and it worked really well to create that nice 3D effect and glossy look in the horse eye, layering with fine details here around in little circles and then blend it worked also beautifully. White details are showing up brilliantly. The white is really brilliant white. So if you sometimes struggle with white highlights in your portraits, I can recommend this Sennelier white. I loved these neutral brown tones also for this horse eye. So there are the different colors in there that you don't have in the pits. For a combination of all the pencils, this set is really a recommendation. You can blend it easily so into the background with cotton swabs. This faded transitions worked well. So I can imagine plotting in base layers on larger areas and backgrounds takes a while. And you need a longer time if you would like to draw only with these hard pastel pencils, larger portraits. Their softer pastel pencils might be the key, and you are faster and have a brighter, brilliant color aberration. But it's really a bit like drawing with colored pencils. This is a slower medium, and for drawing a lot of details and fine layers, I really enjoyed them. Here you can easily create these faded look, blended look into the background because you have very little pigment on the paper, and you can then blend it so easily. These soft transitions worked well, and also adding black lines worked so well with little pressure. And also when you press a bit more with these harder Sennelier pencils, you can achieve fine lines that are darker with more pressure. When you are doing that with the pits, the lines become broader and thicker. So for fine thin lines, you can apply a bit more pressure to get them darker, and they stay thin. I really like that. Here I added some more detailed layers on top. So without the wood, I hold them in the hand, so I really enjoy drawing with them. I did not find them too short. Maybe when they then are sharpened more, we have to use pencil holders with the half pencils. For eyelashes, I was really impressed. I could create so thin lines and brilliant showing up lines here with these flash colors. This was amazing to draw the eyelashes, nothing smeared, nothing smudged, because yes, you have less pigment on the paper, but that worked so well for these details. So here I added a bit shadow and blended it then. Also around the edges of the eye I added a bit shadow, added details. So this is all the normal usual layering process I'm doing in my animal portraits. I have explained every step in that, a full demonstration I have done for my Animal Art Club members. So if you're curious, you find a link below in the description how you can join my membership. It's a friendly community where you can draw along all year long and either start drawing portraits for yourself or for friends and family, or just also improve your portraits that you can sell them and do commissions. And I give you tips how you can improve them, and you get feedback, and we have also fun challenges and fun events in the club. And yes, that was a test, because many members and also here on the channel people are asking, is it worth to invest into these Sennelier pastel pencils? And I must say yes, it is. In addition to the pit pastel pencils, I would not say buy them for the start. I'm missing the brown tones, but so for the details, for adding fine layers, like here these hairs, it's really working so well to draw fine lines, so that's a great option. And then I also have drawn a fur. I wanted to know how the behavior of these pencils was when I just draw on pastel mat, this time on sand colored paper, just a clump of fur like I am doing with the pit pastel pencils. Some lighter strands and some darker strands, adding shadows. The base layer worked really well, so I did not use a lot of pressure. I didn't use my normal amount of pressure and plotted in black and also light blue, and blending also worked well, so there is not too less pigment on the paper because they are harder. I have really a nice base layer, and what really worked well are these fine lines on the clumps, these fine shadow lines, and also into the background. Of course, you have to hold them loosely in the hand, but it worked so well. I really was impressed. I really enjoyed drawing this clump. I added some more blue-violet highlights on top, then used some different colors, also pink, and wanted to test how these lines are showing up on top, and drawing with light over dark worked so well. And then also adding shadows in again with the black worked really well. So I must say, also only drawing with the Sennelier pencils for my style of teaching and drawing animals and pastel portraits. So this realistic lifelike look with many details, for that they really work well, so I like them. Here I have blended a little bit, and also the lines are not gritty. Sometimes the lines with the pit pastel pencils or Carpothelus become gritty, then I have to blend much more on top of them. With the white Sennelier stick, I really could achieve brilliant bright lines as final highlights, and also this glazing technique, so swiping over gently with a brown and create a transparent layer where the lines shine through below, worked also really well. The lines stayed fine and detailed, and I then go over again with some more highlights. This worked really well.
Okay, finally, let's summarize my test and my thoughts about the Sennelier pastel pencils, the woodless pastel pencils. First of all, I really like them, and I can recommend them in addition to the pit pastel pencils. I would not recommend them for the start to use only, even though it was really great to draw the horse eye. They have beautiful colors, they have nice violets, green tones, also interesting brown tones, but I was missing dark browns and red browns like the burnt sienna, walnut brown, deep dark browns I was missing, and I need them a lot in animals. You can mix colors directly on the paper for sure, so you can create and mix these colors, but I miss the pink colors there. On the other side, they really have beautiful flesh colors. They have brilliant light blue tones. You can use different light blue tones. In the pits I only have one light blue that is not as light as I want to have. Sometimes for highlights in eyes, for example, I will definitely use them in addition and combine them with the pit pastel pencils for details. Because they are so hard, they are great for details. You can achieve fine lines with not so little pressure as you need with other pencils, so you can apply more pressure to achieve fine straight lines. Layering is working well, so they are a little bit scratchy maybe when you draw larger areas. I would not recommend them for backgrounds, for blurry backgrounds. There you definitely need more pigment on the paper. There you need soft pastel sticks, softer pastel pencils like Capothellos or Carandash to blend them better. You can do that with them too, but you need a longer time and you have not so opaque, brilliant colors. But for animal portraits with a lot of details for the drawing process, I really like them. So for that I can really recommend these pencils. I hope you liked that video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, then finally to get notifications for the next video. And then I hope I see you soon. Bye!